So one of the greatest questions and one of the biggest probably misconceptions is the topic of who are the 144,000 that talks in the book of Revelation. Now, this is not hard to understand. And today, though, the information is very extensive. So we're not able to cover the entire information. But today, we're going to look at who are not part of the 144,000. See, to understand the entire concept, yes, we do have to look at a few verses. But to understand who are not part of the 144,000, only look into at 2 or 3 verses, we can immediately see who are not part of the 144,000. That's what we're going to look in today. All right? So, we want to look at Revelation chapter 14, because Revelation chapter 14, though it doesn't give us the first instance in the book of Revelation of talking about the 144,000, it does gives us the characteristics, okay, of the 144,000. So if we're trying to understand the 144,000, we definitely want to look at what characteristics they have of the 144,000. And it only mentions here about a couple. In Revelation chapter 14, okay, and we're going to look starting on verse 1, okay, and then it says, "Then I looked, and behold, a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven like a voice of many waters, and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of a harpist playing the harps. They sang as it were a new song before the throne, before the 4 living creatures and the elders. And no one could learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth." Here is giving us a first clue. There is something different from these 144,000 than from the rest of the people that are being saved. First thing we need to look at, the 144,000 are not the only people that will be saved. That is a very misconception, and I understand that some religions believe that they are the 144,000 and they're the only ones that will be saved. According to the Bible, that does not say that. This is one of those verses, because it's saying that they knew a song that no one else could actually know. Why? Most likely because their experience that they went through is different from the experience of the rest of those that were saved. Let me give you another verse of why the 144,000 cannot be a little number. If we go back to Revelation chapter 7, it gives us the name of the 144,000. Now, it's interesting that the name that is using here for the 144,000 is not the same name or sequence. Okay? It's using 2 different names and a different sequence of what we find in the Old Testament. There is a purpose for that. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to discuss that purpose now. Okay? But I do want you to see to why we cannot take the 144,000 as a little number. Okay? Why? Because if you read on verse 9, okay, on verse 9, the 144,000 are the ones that are being sealed, and it's giving us all the information. Then in verse 9, it says, "After these things I looked, and behold, a great multitude, which no one could number, of all nations, tribe, people, and tongues, standing before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with the white robes, with palm branches on their hands." Clearly is telling us, one, there's a great multitude, one which no one could number. If no one can number, that means that the 144,000 are not the only ones that are going to be saved. Because if only 144,000 people were going to be saved, then you could number the people that are in front of the throne with the branches in their hands. But it's saying that a number so high that it cannot be counted. Okay? And it's saying a multitude, a great multitude. So it's not only the 144,000 people that are going to be saved. Okay? So taking that now one to the side, we already know that part. Okay, I understand that 144,000 are not going to be saved. Now, who are part then, or who are not part of the 144,000? Let's go back to Revelation chapter 14. And it gives us here one of the most important characteristics, and we're going to see why when we look at Revelation chapter 18. It says on verse 4, these are the ones who were not what? Defiled with woman, for they are virgins. Okay, remember these words. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to God and to the Lamb. Now, please don't think that the 144,000 are people that they have to be virgins, meaning that they have not been with a woman. These are single people that have never been with any woman, never been married, never been anything like that. That is nonsense. Okay, if we start thinking that way, well, we're taking the Bible completely out of context. Okay, that is not what it's saying. If we look now in verse 4, what is it giving us? It's giving us people that have not defiled with woman, for they are virgins. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to God and to the Lamb. If you've been redeemed, it means that you were not perfect. We are all redeemed by the blood of Christ. We are all redeemed by Jesus Christ dying on the cross, and by us accepting that he is our Savior. That's how we're redeemed. These 144,000 have done that. They have put their lives aside and given their life completely to God. Now, look in here. These were the ones that have not defiled themselves with women. They're virgins. Okay, they have not committed any adultery. Why is it giving us that specific type of characteristics? It is very important because Revelation chapter 14 is speaking of a people or a group of people at a very end time prophecy, we can say. Okay. Now, if you remember in some videos back, we did mention there is time no longer. So we're not talking about a specific time, but we're talking about a specific period of time, which is that time, the end of times. Okay. Now, why it gives us that specific characteristics for the 144,000? Let's look now at Revelation chapter 18. Okay. If we look at Revelation So let's look now at Revelation chapter 18. Now it's very important because Revelation chapter 18 is giving us a call to come out of Babylon. It's giving a call to his people to come out of Babylon. Okay, very important. So meaning that there are people, safe people, that are still in Babylon. And here, again, chapter 18 is giving that call. Now, who are the ones that are in that call? And are those 144,000 also included in the ones in chapter 18? Let's look. Starting on verse 3, it says, "For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of the fornication. The kings of the earth have committed" what? "Fornication with her." Okay? Very important, because when we look now at Revelation chapter 14, the 144,000 are virgins. They have not committed any adultery, meaning that they have not fornicated either. Okay? "The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard on verse 4 another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share her sin in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues." These 144,000 are not within that group that we find in Babylon. Now, most likely, these 144,000 are the ones saying, "Come out, my people. Come out, my people." We know this is a message from an angel. Okay, and we know the meaning of angel in the Bible is telling us about a messenger. Okay? It's a message that is coming to his people. So this 144,000 cannot be included in the book of Revelation chapter 18. But these are probably the ones that are calling the people out of Babylon. Now, who are not the 144,000? Those are the people that, if we look at the characteristics, these are the people that have joined with the world, that have liked the pleasures of the world, that have liked the music, that have liked the things that they see, that have enjoyed everything about the world. These are people that maybe they pray or they don't, maybe read the Bible or they don't, but for some reason they have still not given their life completely to God. The 144 people follow the lamp, as it says in Revelation chapter 14. They follow the lamp wherever it goes. Thinking about that, I think about myself. I'm part of the 144,000. Do I follow the lamp wherever he goes? Have I been involved in the things, or too much in the things of this world? Do I enjoy more the things of this world than sitting down with Jesus Christ by myself, walking with him, just praying, studying his word? Do I enjoy more the things on Facebook, Instagram, all these, Snapchat, all these things? Do I enjoy more the movies that I watch, the things that I hear? There is one more characteristics I do want to cover before we end tonight. This 144,000 in Revelation chapter 14. We know that in the first 5 verses is giving us some type of characteristics of this group, of the 144,000. But this specific group, okay, that we know is not a little number again, okay? We know that. But this specific group takes a different message, and it's called the 3 angels' messages. And it starts on verse 6. Now, why is this important? Because part of the work of the 144,000 is to take the end time message to the world. And why I say to the world? Because it clearly says on verse 6, and it says, "Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people." These people, this group, these 144,000, are so committed to Jesus Christ, and they're following Jesus to wherever he goes, and they're committed to spread the word across the world. Do we have that desire as well? Do we have the desire to spread the word of Jesus? Does it burn in our hearts to tell others about what God has done for us? Does it burn in your heart right now? If not, that's okay. God is extending his hand right now to lift you up, and that we may walk with him. And if you're following Jesus completely and truly in your heart, are we following his command right now to spread the word to all people around the world? Now, on the next video, we'll be talking about who are the 144,000. And this is one of the greatest prophecies also that we find in the book of Revelation. Because, and I'll give you a hint, in the book of Revelation in chapter 12, it gives us the characteristics, especially in verse 1, of the same characteristics that we find of those in chapter 14. By looking at those characteristics, we are able to determine, am I part of the 144,000? Am I part of that group, of that end time group that is taking and will continue to take, with the power of the Holy Spirit, the word to every tongue, nation, tribe, language, to everyone around the world? If we have not made that commitment to follow Jesus all the way, and the things of this world still has a grasp on us, take some time right now and make a decision to leave the things of the world and just follow Jesus, that we may all be part of those 144,000. May God bless you.